A new black eye for the embattled British Prime Minister, and this one involves Her Majesty the Queen. Today, Boris Johnson's office apologized to Queen Elizabeth for hosting parties last year, and the reason? They were held the night before she buried her late husband, Prince Philip. In a statement, a spokesman for 10 Downing Street wrote in part, "It is deeply regrettable that this took place at a time of national mourning, and Number 10 has apologized to the palace for that." Number 10 reportedly hosted 2 parties on April the 16th of last year. At the time, under COVID restrictions, the UK government told people they could only socialize indoors and only with members of their household. Downing Street says Johnson wasn't at that gathering, but according to the Telegraph newspaper, his staff partied and danced into the wee hours of the morning. At one point, a staffer reportedly went to a nearby supermarket to fill an entire suitcase with bottles of wine. And there was damage, too. A person reportedly broke a swing that belonged to the Prime Minister's son. The next day, the Queen sat alone at her husband's funeral. They were married 73 years. Remember, there were strict limits on indoor gatherings. Boris Johnson's opposition calling for him to resign immediately. A member of the Labour Party today ripped him on our sister network, Sky News.
I tell you what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the Prime Minister to look into his heart and soul and decide whether or not he has a scrap of human decency in him. Because if he does, he will resign. How the hell can he possibly expect to go before Her Majesty again at a weekly audience and be able to look her in the eye and pretend that everything is all right? Because everything is not all right.
This latest scandal caps off a very bad week for Boris Johnson. On Wednesday, he apologized for attending a garden party while the country was in lockdown in 2020. An initial internal investigation launched into that gathering and several others. The Prime Minister says, please withhold judgment until the inquiry is over. And new this evening, Boris Johnson has reportedly drawn up a list of officials to take the fall for him. That from the British newspaper The Independent. And like most plans, it has a name. The Independent reports it's been dubbed Operation Save Big Dog, named that by the Prime Minister himself. I'm sure that's playing well. A spokesman for Number 10 says they don't recognize the phrase.